Hello students, welcome back to this YouTube channel. Today in the series of videos we will be continuing with the second part of the video from this chapter, that is chapter number 6, from part 2 of accountancy, 12th commerce, cash flow statement. Before starting today's session, let us quickly recall what we have discussed in the earlier part of the video. In the part 1 of the video or of the sessions, we have discussed about what syllabus has been reduced from this chapter, which illustrations has been cancelled, which questions has been cancelled, and what is going to be asked from this chapter. Students, as discussed earlier, this chapter consists of one question from 4 marks. So there are more chances, or we can say there are short chances of a question being of a practical question. And out of 3 practical topics, that is cash flow from operating activity, cash flow from investing activity, cash flow from financing activity, operating activities and financing activities has been cancelled or reduced. So only topic for practical questions that we have is cash flow from investing activities. We will discuss that in the next part of the video. Today we will learn about we will discuss some theory portion from this chapter. Okay, so first 5 topics: introduction, meaning of terminology, classification of cash flow activities, special activities, and cash flow statement. These 5 are the topics which we have to discuss in theories. Starting with introduction. Okay, now what is cash flow? There is no need to read out this whole long theory. Introduction of cash flow says cash flow means the flow of cash into the business, or the flow of cash for the business. Now, how come it can be flow of cash? When cash comes or cash goes, it is known as flow of cash. It is known as flow of cash. For example, you purchase raw materials. So raw materials comes in the business, cash goes out of the business. So it is a cash outflow. When you are selling finished goods, goods are going out of the business, but cash is coming. If in the case of cash sales, then it is known as then it will be known as cash inflow. Okay, so here we are talking about cash purchase and cash sales. Same, you are purchasing a land, your cash is going out, land is coming to the business, then it is cash outflow. Selling of land, cash inflow. Okay, same, you are issuing a equity share, shares are going out, cash inflow. You are buying back the equity shares, or you are taking a loan. Buying back an equity share, that is cash outflow. Giving a loan, cash outflow. Taking a loan, cash inflow. Okay, so when a cash comes into the business, it is known as cash inflow. When cash goes out of the business, it is known as cash outflow. Okay, now as per the AS3, accounting standard 3, cash flow is compulsory from 1st of April 2004 for every business enterprise. Certain some criteria is being followed. Okay, and the cash flow statement has to be prepared, can be prepared in 2 methods: direct method and indirect method. But for those who are into compulsion of preparing it, they have to prepare under indirect method. It can be asked in MCQs. Cash flow method should be prepared under indirect method for those enterprises, for those organizations for whom they have to they have compulsion of preparing it. Okay, now terminologies. First terminology that we need to understand is cash flow. There are 2 types of cash flow: cash inflow, cash outflow. Cash flow means receipt and payment of cash and cash equivalent. Now we all know what is cash, but what is cash equivalent? That we are going to learn in the next topic. Now, when cash increases in the business, it is known as cash flow. When cash increases in the business, it is known as cash inflow. And when cash equivalent decreases, it is known as cash outflow. Okay, let us see an example. Cash was 1 lakh rupees inflow, outflow 85,000, net cash inflow 15,000. Cash inflow 85,000, cash outflow 1 lakh, net cash outflow 15,000. Okay, this is the cash inflow and cash outflow. Second term is cash. Now, what do we include in cash? We include two things in cash: cash on hand and bank balance. Both are included into the cash term. If we use the term cash for this particular chapter, cash flow statement, cash on hand plus bank balance. Okay, and now the third one is cash equivalent. What is cash equivalent? Cash equivalent means highly liquid short-term investment which can be quickly and accurate with accurate price convertible into cash, investment in which risk is very rare, like government securities and so on. In easy language, I discuss about cash equivalent. Now, cash equivalent means those securities or those valuables which can be converted into cash instantly, as well as they have a certain fixed price attached to it. It can be government securities, treasury bills, or we can say gold, silver, bullion, because we know a fixed price to it and it can be converted easily. Okay, so gold can be converted into cash within hours, but can land or building be converted into cash within hours? No. So short term investment highly liquid which can be converted into cash instantly are considered into cash equivalent. Clear? Now next terminology is cash flow statement. Now three types of activities are disclosed in cash flow statement: operating activities, investing activities and financing activities. Cash inflow and outflow can be there in each of these activities, in operating, investing and financing. In all three activities there can be cash inflow, there can be cash outflow. Okay, at the end what we would be arising at a closing balance of cash and cash equivalent generated from these three activities, whether it is positive or negative. Clear? Next is classification of cash flow activities. First activity is an operating activity. First activity is an operating activity. Now, what is operating activity? Operating activity means main activities of business to earn income which are neither investing activities nor financing activities. Means those activities which are the main activities of business for which the business has been formed. Due to those activities, if there is inflow or outflow of cash, then it is known as cash flow from operating activities. For example, due to purchase, due to sale of goods, due to exchange of goods, due to office administration expenses, or due to salaries, wages, all these are operating activities, cash flow from operating activities, commissions and all. Clear? Now there are two types of companies on the basis of their nature. One is known as trading company, other one is known as insurance company. Now for trading company, the activities are purchase and sale of goods. These are the main, or we can say, active source of income generation. While for insurance company, premium income and payments of claim are the main activities. Then comes the bank. For bank, loans and acceptance of deposit are the main activities. Okay, so on such behalf, we can divide companies into two categories. First is non-finance company, others are finance companies. Why we are clarifying this into two? Because operating activity for non-finance company would be different and operating activity for finance company would be different. Now let us see cash flow from operating activities. Operating activities for non-finance company. Non-finance company means all the companies other than companies involved in finance. All the companies other than banks, NBFCs, insurance companies, finance companies. All the medical shops, all the groceries shops, all the departmental stores, all the doctors, lawyers, or all the, we can say, general stores, all the ready-made garment shops, all those companies are into non-finance companies. All such companies are into non-finance companies. Okay. Now for those companies, what activities are termed as operating activity? Income and received from sale of goods and services, income and received from commission or royalty, any other income which is not arise from investing activities, collection from debtors and bills receivable, payment. These were the inflow outflows. Now outflows, payment of goods and services, payments to creditors and bills, salary and wages, bonus, sales expenses. Okay, all these are the operating activities of any non-finance company. And last one is income tax related. It can be refund or payment. Clear? This is for the non-finance companies. For the finance companies means bank, NBFCs like India Bulls, DHFL, Muthoot Finance, Manappuram Gold Loans. All these are known as finance companies. So for them, operating activities are purchase of securities, interest paid on loan, sale of securities, interest received on securities, interest received on landed loan. Why? Because this is the work, this is the job of them, this is the operations of their. They give loans, they receive interest on loans. So this is their working. So this is operating for them. Salary or bonus of the employees, and income tax refund or payment of tax. See, salary, bonus and income tax related transactions will be in the operating zone for every organization, whether it is finance or non-finance. Clear? I hope you guys are able to understand something. Now let us quickly have a simple example so we can clarify what is operating and what is non-operating. Now for illustration number 1, we will be going with the duo language English as well as Hindi. Illustration 1. Identify operating activities from the following transaction of मीना कंपनी. इसमें कहा गया है कि मीना कंपनी के इतने ट्रांजेक्शन है, 12 ट्रांजेक्शन है गिवन, जो उसमें से ऑपरेटिंग कौन से ये फाइंड आउट करना है. सी नाउ मेक वन थिंग वेरी श्योर कि जब तक हमें कहा ना जाए कि कोई कंपनी बैंक है या एनबीएफसी है या फाइनेंस कंपनी है, तो सारी कंपनी कौन सी मानेंगे हम? नॉन फाइनेंस कंपनी. सो मीना कंपनी कौन सी है हमारी? नॉन फाइनेंस कंपनी. ओके, तो ऐसे एक ट्रांजैक्शन जो डे टू डे बिजनेस में है, जो जिसकी वजह से बिजनेस हो रहा है, वो हम ऑपरेटिंग में काउंट करेंगे. ओके, लेट अस सी फर्स्ट वन, सैलरी पेड. बिजनेस की जगह सैलरी पे कर रहे हैं, बिजनेस होगा सैलरी पे करने से. ओके, सो इट इज ऑपरेटिंग, इट इज ऑपरेटिंग. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज वेजेस पेड. वेजेस पे करने से बिजनेस का ट्रांजैक्शन हो रहा है, डे टू डे ट्रांजैक्शन. यस, वेजेस पेड इज ऑल्सो एन ऑपरेटिंग ट्रांजैक्शन, ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटीज. लोन, बिजनेस का काम है कि लोन बोरो करना? बिजनेस रोज लोन बोरो करता है क्या? नहीं, बिजनेस का ऑपरेशन नहीं है, बिजनेस का काम नहीं है लोन बोरो करना. सो इट इज नॉट एन ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी. डिबेंचर्स रिडीम करना, मीना कंपनी के रोज डिबेंचर्स रिडीम करती है? नहीं ना, तो इट इज ऑल्सो नॉट एन ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी. रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम डेटर्स, डेटर्स कौन होते हैं? जिनको हमने क्रेडिट पे सेल्स करी होगी, उधार में माल बेचा होगा, उधार में गुड्स सेल करे होंगे, तो उनसे पैसा रिसीव करना मतलब बिजनेस ट्रांजैक्शन है. यस, सो इट इज एन ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी. पेड बिल्स फॉर बिल्स पेएबल, बिल्स पेएबल क्रेडिटर्स को बिल्स दिए होंगे, वो हमने पे किए, रेगुलर ट्रांजैक्शन ऑफ बिजनेस. यस, इट इज एन ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी. सेल ऑफ मशीन ऑन कैश, क्या बिजनेस रोज मशीन बेचता होगा? नहीं ना, सो it is not an operating activity, it is not an operating activity. brokerage received, brokerage किस पे मिलेगी? business transactions पे. so it is an operating activity, it is an operating activity. purchase of furniture, क्या हम रोज फर्नीचर परचेस करने जाएंगे? मीना कंपनी ऐसा है कि चलो आज एक टेबल लिया, कल 2 टेबल लेंगे, परसों 4 टेबल लेंगे, फिर चेयर लेंगे, फिर कबर्ड्स लेंगे, वार्डरोब्स, सॉरी ऑफिस डेस्क लेंगे? नहीं ना. So purchase of furniture is also not an operating activity. इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट, क्लियर लिखा हुआ है इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट, रोज इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा नहीं, इट इज नॉट एन ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी, इट इज एन इन्वेस्टिंग रादर। पेड इंटरेस्ट ऑन लोन, लोन पे इंटरेस्ट पे किया तो क्या होगा, नॉट एन ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी। इनकम टैक्स रिफंड, बिजनेस की जैसे इनकम हुई टैक्स रिफंड किया, सो इट इज एन ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी, इट इज एन ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी। क्लियर, लेट अस चेक, हमने 1 2 5 6 8 और 12 को ऑपरेटिंग कहा है। 1 इट इज एन ऑपरेटिंग, 2 इज ऑपरेटिंग, 3 4 नहीं कहा, ओके नॉट है। 5 को हमने ऑपरेटिंग काउंट किया, ऑपरेटिंग है। 6 को हमने ऑपरेटिंग काउंट किया है, 7 नहीं किया, 8 किया, ओके। देन 9 नहीं किया, 10 नहीं किया, 11 नहीं किया, 12 किया, ओके। तो हम समझ गए कि जो एक्टिविटीज बिजनेस, जिस लिए बिजनेस एस्टैब्लिश हुआ है उसको करने के लिए करनी पड़ती है, तो वो है हमारी ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी, वो है हमारी ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी। नेक्स्ट इज इन्वेस्टिंग एक्टिविटी। सो इन्वेस्टिंग एक्टिविटीज एंड फाइनेंस एक्टिविटीज विल कवर्ड इन द नेक्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द वीडियो। टिल देन स्टे होम, स्टे सेफ, हैप्पी लर्निंग।